I'm just doing a few things real quick before we actually get started. I'm gonna actually mute this and then we gonna have a conversation. Hold on. Yo, so I invited a few people in. I invited some guests. If y'all wanna come on through to talk about this, y'all can. But the title of this video is called What is a Woman? And I wrote a few things down. I watched a documentary by Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is an American commentator who pretty much, talks about like a lot of issues when it comes to gender and politics and stuff like that. Um, Damn, why is this shit all in the way like that? Anyway, hold on. Yeah, it's gonna be like that. But anyway, he's an American political commentator. He's an author, and he came out with a brilliant documentary about what is a woman. And I just want to kind of go through the different demographics of people and what they said, what their response was, and then if, like I said, if some people want to call in, I want to make sure if people want to call in to, somebody said okay, so they might show up here in a bit or call in or whatever. But I want to go through some of the responses and then watch a few videos so y'all can see why we went through these questions. Okay? All right, so this man, he interviewed a gender affirming therapist, and she pretty much, her response was she thinks that genitalia doesn't define gender according to trans people. And she says that she isn't a woman and she can't answer the question. Oh, yeah, that she isn't a woman and that she can't answer the question. So this is a woman that is named Jert Comfrey, and she says that she can't answer the question. So all right, he asked these group of women on the street. They had a look of confusion and they just chuckled and laughed. Okay, so he asked modern women on the street, "What is a woman?" And they just chuckled and they laughed. Okay, and then on top of that, they said it is hard to define what a woman is. That's what they said. This is coming out of the modern woman's mouth. It was four women. Okay, now he interviewed a couple, or he asked another woman on the street. A woman is someone who likes to be pretty and thinks of themselves as a delicate creature. Okay. Somebody in the comment section said I couldn't finish the movie. It gave me a huge headache when it was about 20 minutes left to go. Well, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Um, So let's go back to what this woman said. A woman is someone who likes to be pretty and thinks of themselves as a delicate creature. She also said men can be women too. So this is what a woman said on the street. Let me read that to y'all again. She said a woman is someone who likes to be pretty and thinks of themselves as a delicate creature. She also said men can be women too. This is the modern woman telling you this. All right, let me go through. I'm gonna keep going. So listen, this he interviewed another man. Another man said defining womanhood is a project of someone identifying as a woman, whatever that means. And then he said he doesn't know. And this was a man wearing a dress. So he was interviewing, uh, a homosexual man. So all right. So exactly. All right. So the next one was the next person. This was a sex change surgeon. Her name is Marcy Bowers, and she identifies as a trans woman. So she said she says that a woman is or hold on. She says that a woman is a woman that has a trans history. A woman is a combination of physical attributes than what you are showing to the world, and gender clues that you give, and hopefully it matches your gender identity. Okay? So this is a woman that is intellectualizing and pontificating on what a woman is. Okay? I'm gonna try to be neutral, and I'll give my perspective at the end. You know what I'm saying? Because I want y'all to hear. I want everybody else's perspective to be brought to the forefront before I present mine. Okay. Now, old man, which brings me to the video that I'm going to be playing here soon. He said he had an argument with a trans woman in his store about being a woman, and that video went viral. Okay, he put up a sign that said, "If you have a dick, then you are not a chick." So he got a lot of flack for that, and he got a lot of people that protested in front of his establishment and everything. And then also, he said that the trans woman is not a woman because of common sense. And he said, how, and then they said, the person asked him, Matt Walsh asked him, how do you know? And then um, he asked him this question, excuse me, how do you know that you are a man? He then said, because he has a dick. Okay, so he's just going by basic biology. He cutting straight to the chase. You know what I'm saying? He ain't pontificating. He ain't trying to philosophize it. He ain't trying to come up with some miraculous terms to what a woman is and what a man is. Okay. All right. Here's another professor or doctor. Her name was Michelle Forcier, and she said the question that was asked to her: at what age does a child identify his or herself as another gender? Okay, and she says research and data shows that babies understand differences in gender, and she never, by the way, state the research that she used to make that concrete. You know what I'm saying? So then she also says, like the other medical profession or health professional, she also says that genitalia doesn't necessarily define gender. Okay? And she also says that doctors identifying males because it has a penis doesn't necessarily mean that he is correct. So I just wanted to give you some of that information. Let me actually show you some videos though too. I want to show y'all like a few videos, and then I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna get my laptop. I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you this video first. It's a couple minutes, and I'm gonna show you two more videos, and then we're gonna go through more responses. Hold on. Play mother. Play mother. Hold on.
Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. It's like, what is a woman? Can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. Because it's not for me to say. Womanhood looks different for everybody.
What do you define a woman as?
An adult human female.
And what does a female mean?
Well, that's
how do you define a female?
someone with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing, when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
Interesting. So I'm trying to understand. Your definition is that a woman is someone who is female, you said, right?
Correct. Is a biological female.
So what happens if we have maybe someone who is female, identifies as a woman, right? Cisgender woman, right? As you just explained, but maybe doesn't have the ability to reproduce. Maybe doesn't have those organs that you're talking about that are reproductive organs.
I have answered the question. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not myself.
You used the word. So what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right? So here's the thing. So I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
that describes what?
People who identify as a woman.
Identify as what?
As a woman.
What is that?
Was to each their own. Each woman, each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently. And so trans women are women too. Okay. And you want to reduce. You won't even tell me what the word means, though. So that's the problem. You want to reduce women. You want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes, right? That's what you're saying.
What you want to do is what you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood.
Okay.
And turn it into basically a costume that can be worn. We've got when we say it's real funny. It's real funny. It's real funny when you're
Right, so man, you're literally saying this is what a woman is.
Yeah. Well,
isn't that a little sexist?
Because I am willing to define it, but you won't.
I'm gonna play this other video. This is another one. I told you I was gonna play the one with that old man too. Let me play that one as well. Cause here we go. Let's play this. I'm gonna play some more too, but I wanna get my commentary on this stuff too. My own commentary.
Has been known as the wacky owner of the Star Wars memorabilia store here in Aberdeen. But a transgender councilwoman says he's a bigot who went to the dark side on her.
You're not a woman. You don't look like a woman. You don't act like a woman.
The confrontation started inside.
Men, women, are women. Get a women are women.
Spilled into the street.
Call in. I'm gonna have you call in, Thurman. I know. Yeah, call. I'm gonna have you call in.
Owner Don Suker about a sign he posted in his store saying, "If you are born with a slang for a male body part, you are not a."
He wrote there was so demeaning and so dismissive of who I am and who any trans woman is.
Meskis, a trans woman, says she knows Suker has the right to say what he wants.
You're nuts. You need to back off now. No, you do.
But she wanted to tell him to his face it was hurtful.
I would really like them to open their eyes and their heart and see that, we are people, we are who we are, and all we want to be is accepted in our community.
And I don't care what they do, but don't come in here and complain to me about stuff. I have free speech.
Suker says anyone who disagrees with him does not need to spend money at his store, where that sign was still visible today.
And everybody's taking pictures of it, everybody laughs.
Everybody loves it.
Well,
And some people think it's hurtful.
Well,
He told us that this hurt.
but here's the thing. I don't give about feelings anymore. I'm 70 and age. I went to Vietnam to fight for all this. Do you think I care about some feelings? Absolutely not.
Supporters of the councilwoman are planning a protest out in front of the store Saturday morning at 10. Don Suker says he is calling on some of his backers for a show of support at the same time. In Aberdeen, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
I'm having people. My bad, y'all. I'm having people. I'm talking to people, telling them to come on. Yeah, this is a controversial topic, but my response to that video, those two videos. Let's go to the one where he was talking to. Uh, he was on the Dr. Phil's show. Hold on, y'all. I know I'm being distracted. Hold on. So with the Dr. Phil stuff, just imagine a woman that has a full beard like me. All right, so we got some. Yo, what's up, spiritually focused? Spirituality focused, excuse me. What's up? So I'm gonna have you speak momentarily, and then I'm gonna ask you what is a woman, because I want people to get your perspective. I'm assuming that you are a woman, right? I'm a woman, yes. All right, cool. All right, for sure. Let me just give my spiel, and then I'm gonna ask you here in a bit what you think is a woman, or what is a woman to you. So pretty much from the video that we saw here on YouTube or whatever, the woman, you could clearly see that she was having a lot of confusion when it come to identifying herself. And in the 80s, there was, or even before the 80s, a lot of people considered, a lot of medical researchers considered them people that identify what is, pretty much says in biology what it is. Like right now, I'm a man, there's no disputing that. But if I had a problem, dealing with my own state of being, they would consider it to be a mental illness. Okay. And that's called, is a medical term that one of the psychologists, she used it. She called it gender dysphoria. Okay, so gender dysphoria is saying like, and she's still using that. Actually, she's still actually using that research, but mainstream media, they don't oftentimes talk about gender dysphoria. Okay, that's what it's called. It's called gender dysphoria. When you have this idea, like right now, I will say, I have this idea that I'm a man, that I'm a woman, and I feel that, and that's the only thing that matters. And I'm trying to go through different avenues to change myself, whether that be through surgical procedures, or me dressing up like one, or you know what I'm saying? That is called gender dysphoria. Or if are taking hormones to reverse your gender, that's called gender dysphoria. Okay, so we can clearly see that they're practicing witchcraft. They're trying to use reverse psychology on this man. They're trying to make him seem like he came from the loony bin, because he will not go into the uncharted territory of, pretty much, I would say it, I'll put it like this. They were not trying to hear what he had to say, because he was asking a question that was simple. And since they are having issues within themselves, they come up with these overcomplicated answers, or they may not even be able to answer the question. and then they just go around in circles like a dog chasing its tail. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much when it comes to talking about this stuff. So it's really not that hard. And like I said, I'm being neutral right now. I'm doing my best to be neutral right now. It's hard because I'm biased. I'm a man, so I know what I identify as. You know what I'm saying? And I know what is defined as a man. Okay. But I digress. I want to hear spirituality focus to give her viewpoint or her definition of what a woman is. Can y'all hear her? Hold on, let me hear what the chat, if the chat going. Say something.
Can y'all hear me?
Let's see. Who's all in here? If they answer. If not, just go ahead. You know.
Is what we learned, in school as like second graders, It has to do with genitalia, organs. That's the primary thing, when it comes to, there's different types of women, of course, but just primarily, basically, a woman has a vagina and breasts and reproductive system, like a uterus, ovaries, so that's what makes a woman a woman.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that sound pretty good.
The basics. I don't think it shouldn't have to, because when you learn it, when you're a child, that's how you learn whether you're a boy or a girl.
Okay.
You become a woman once you're, 18, or maybe you start having sex with a mother or something, then you can become, a different type of woman, a grown woman. But, that's later in life. But primarily, that's all.
I got you. And I want to add on to what you're saying, because at the end of this is going to be a spoiler alert for those that have not seen the documentary. But this documentary too, it came out last year, in 2022. But he interviewed a brilliant psychologist by the guy by the name of Jordan Peterson, who I love. He's very brilliant when it comes to thinking and philosophy. I'll say he's one of the greatest minds that a person can listen to right now. I don't always agree with him on everything, but I'll say about 90% of what he says makes sense. You know what I'm saying? 90 to 95% of what he spews out of his mouth, because the dude really thinks before he speaks. He knows how to construct his thoughts and everything like that. So when y'all got time, go listen to Dr. Jordan Peterson. He is one of the great minds of today. Every man especially should listen to him. I encourage women to listen to him too. But men, y'all need to listen to him. It's an undeniable fact that he is one of the greatest minds out there right now in the 21st century. And I'm not even like trying to overhype nobody. I'm just giving props when they do. But he asked Jordan Peterson at the end, though. He said, man, what is a woman? And then he was like, I don't know, man. You should just go home and ask your wife. And then and then he got to the crib or whatever. He looked at his wife. Matt Walsh looked at his wife, and he was like, honey, he's like, I've been meaning to ask you something. He was like, what is a woman? And she kind of looked at him and kind of, had a smile on her face or whatever. And she said it's a female adult who needs help opening up a jar for the food she was trying to open. So she handed him, I don't know if it was peanut butter or I forgot what it was, but she handed him a jar for him to open. And that's how he ended it. So it was crazy. Like it just showed you that after all those answers, even some of the answers that I went through with you, like with you guys right now, like I went over some of these answers, and you see how they had these different perspectives of what a woman was, but his wife gave a simple answer. Like she didn't pontificate, she didn't intellectualize it, she didn't try to philosophize it, she didn't try to, take it to Jupiter, take it to Mars. She just gave a straightforward, narrow path answer. And to even talk about this idea about what is a woman is silly. And it's like, it's really asinine right now, because the only reason why I care so much about this title or this conversation as a heterosexual man, because one day I want to have kids. And it's important that when I bring a kid or children into society, that we are in a state where we can actually have these type of conversations and be straightforward with these kids, because there's so much going on with this mass media, which includes social media, and social media makes people feel like they belong to certain groups. So they have these trans groups, they have these these LGBT groups, and they have all these groups for the kid that is considered to be odd out of the bunch. So our job as parents is to be a guide to them. You know what I'm saying? We oftentimes let the educational system dictate who they are. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tragic story that went on as well throughout this process. I want to get to that actually. Was there anything else you wanted to say to spirituality focus? Why you still on?
I don't know. That's basically it. This really is a complicated subject because everyone wants to argue, and people are basically blackmailed into agreeing. Like even at my job, I have to ask what they identify as. And I have to go by that. So.
Okay, before I get into what I was about to say with this other thing about this story, hold on. Shy try to come on in. I'm gonna let you go. Spirituality focus. It was a pleasure having you on. If you want to call back later on, you can. But we're gonna let somebody else come in just to get their perspective too.
All right. Enjoy.
All right. Yeah. Hope you can, still, keep on the program until it's up.
I'll be listening.
All right, for sure. I appreciate your support too.
No problem. Anytime.
All right, peace. So that was spirituality focus, man. Hold on, let me see who else is trying to get on. Because we got some people that want to get on. So hold on real quick. Speaking of jobs too, when I had an incident at my job as well where I had an incident at my job as well. Well, it wasn't an incident, but it was a Black woman, right? Natural hair, into spirituality, into yoga, into all this. She pulled me to the side. I used to work for a nonprofit organization, and we had some colleagues there that they were men, they were gay, and or homosexual, however you want to say it, because I'm trying to do my best to be politically correct. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. You know what I'm saying? However, I'ma still be truthful too, though. I'ma still be truthful. Oh, come over here, Anubis. All right. So having said that, she had an issue with these men that identified as being gay. They wanted to be called women. And what she told me in private, because I guess, you know, we kind of vibed as far as like the energy is concerned. You know what I'm saying? We kind of vibe. So she just, you know, kind of pulled me to the side a couple days later or whatever. And she was like, she had asked me, what do I think of it all? And I'm going to still be neutral right now, and I'll give y'all my perspective later on. I'm going to just tell you her perspective for now. She pretty much was saying that she's offended by men that want to identify themselves as being a woman, because you are making a mockery out of women. Okay. So that was her perspective. You know what I'm saying? That was her perspective of it all, is that she wasn't too happy of that. So she wasn't a part of that, you know, agenda or that way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? So, but let me get to this tragic story. Let me get to this tragic story though. This was a deep, tragic story that I want you to know about. Hold on. Okay. So let me pull this up too. This is who we're gonna be talking about. It's a guy by the name of Dr. Alfred Kinsey, right? Who was a social reformer and American psychologist. It was an American psychologist who they considered to be, beside from J. Merriam Sims, who was a part of the slave era and did a lot of used a lot of what he would call surgical procedures to experiment on Black people. He was a very heinous psychologist or doctor, beside from Charles Darwin, who was a pseudoscientist about evolution. This guy, Dr. Alfred Kinsey, he's making a footprint in psychology too. He's highly regarded, but this is what he did. He believed in getting rid of Christian values, and he believed that children were sexual from birth. So this is a man in academia. He's in academia, and he says that children are sexual by birth. Okay. And he said that everybody needs to partake in sexual perversion. And he was a pseudoscientist too, because the research and data that he said that he presented out to people, it was all fraudulent, because it was based on convicted child molesters and sexual predators. So he used their psychology, and he used their way of thinking to pretty much consider it to be like a form of research and data. You know what I'm saying? This man has been put in Hollywood movies. Okay, they have a Hollywood movie called Kinsey. This is so if you go to my Instagram and type in, or go onto my Instagram and look at the first video that I presented a couple days ago, called the YAG Agenda. Okay, and you'll see some of the stuff that I'm talking about. It's kind of correlating to what's going on now. Hollywood, all these different people, the educational system. I already read to y'all The Gay Revolutionary, in that I read you that editorial piece when I did that video essay ago. Okay, check that out if y'all have not checked that out. I don't want to reiterate some of that stuff, but that's what he did. And then on top of that, he conducted a lot of nasty and inappropriate studies on kids. Okay, so let me see if this person trying to get on. Hold on. Let me see something. Oh, here she go. Here she go. Here he is. Here we go. What's up, CC?
Hey, what's up?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a pleasure to have you on. So today, I don't know how deep have you been watching the video. We're discussing, like I talked to you in the inbox before, what is a woman, and I simply just want you to give your viewpoint of what a woman is.
You mean like biologically?
Well, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. You are. I'm assuming you're a woman, right?
Yeah, very much
Okay.
so.
I'm just being. Listen. I'm being politically correct in front of the audience because you know how people are. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you consider yourself? Or what do you consider to be a woman? I'm gonna just I'm gonna leave the ball in your court.
I mean, from the very basics is to be born with a female reproductive organs and a vagina, maybe breasts if you have them. But basically, you can reproduce and have children
Okay.
at the core of what a woman is.
All right, so let me ask you this: like the political commentator proposed to somebody else. So would you have a problem? Would you have a problem with a trans woman or a person who feels in their body, just feel in their body coming into your restroom, you know, and just being themselves and partaking in the same activities you're doing? Would you have an issue with a trans woman coming into what you consider to be a woman's restroom or a locker room space?
Okay, before I answer that, I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know this about me, obviously, but I don't know who's on here who watching, so they don't know me. So I am probably the most least homophobic person on this earth. Like, you know that. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
about me that I feel like I mean, people do what they want to do when it comes to
You real low. Talk loud. Like turn your volume up. Yeah, you low. But I mean, they probably can't hear you, but you just kind of low from where I from where I'm at.
yeah, it's getting like some crazy feedback. But what I was saying is I'm not homophobic at all. Like I don't care what a person chooses to do in the bedroom when it comes to their sexuality. Like I'm really not homophobic at all. But I am a 38-year-old woman
Mm-hmm.
and things have been a certain way for a long time. I personally do not feel comfortable with someone that is born a guy, regardless of what they choose to transition into, to share the same restroom as I am. That's just my personal, you know, and that's
Okay.
just because as a little girl, you know, it's like super
Keep the camera still. Keep the camera still.
Girl,
you walking around, be still.
I had to move because it was too loud where I was at.
Okay.
But yeah, you're supposed to protect your daughters at all costs. So when I was a little girl, my family would, if they found out a guy, regardless of what they dress themselves up as, but if they found out that a male with a penis was in the same restroom as their little girl, all hell is about to break loose. Like, I don't care what's going on in the world. Like, if you 3, 4, 5 years old in the restroom, there should not be a male in the restroom. Like,
okay. So having said that, you sound similar to. She said she can hear. She said she can hear it. Okay, so that long as they can hear you. All right. So yeah, so you pretty much sound like the woman in the documentary. Some women were saying what you said. They don't mind what people do, but if they came into the bathroom, this was a Hispanic Latina woman. He asked a woman off the street. She was Hispanic and Latina, and he asked her that, and she pretty much said what you said, but she said it in a shorter way. She said she wouldn't. She would have a problem with it because, for one, he has a dick. That's why, you know what I'm saying? And she started laughing. So she was a little bit more.
But it goes a little bit deeper because you have to think about this. With us blurring these lines nowadays and people deciding what they want to consider themselves as, let's just say, for instance, you are a guy that is a straight male. Say you actually do love women, but you can put on a dress and a heels and walk into a bathroom because I identify as whatever, but you're really a predator. You get what I'm saying? Wants to stop a straight male that just wants to take advantage of a female from just dressing the part just to gain access to a private. So at most, I would say have a other bathroom. If it just really needs to be like that, you know, have hers, his, and whatever you identify bathroom. But to protect women and protect children, little girls, I don't feel comfortable with it because I can't gauge when I look at any guy that's dressed up as a woman. Are you really, on the other side? Are you a predator for real? Like, I can't tell that. So just to, protect myself, and if I had little girls, to protect them too, I think that it should be a little bit more boundaries when it comes to having all access.
And that's I can speak from a former early education or early educator perspective. That's the only thing I could speak in a position of, because I'm not a parent yet. But that will be my biggest thing, is having to worry about that in society, because it's so much, like I was saying before, being pushed by the mass media to, like, if you don't fit in this category, you got to go in this category. And when it comes to like children, they're so gullible and naive, you know what I'm saying? So like, it's up to us as the adults, as the parents, to be like, we're gonna be your first teachers. We're gonna decide what you learn and what you're not gonna learn, because a lot of these states are trying to push this agenda, the LGBTQ agenda in the curriculums and all that stuff. Which, like I said, I want to make a disclaimer. I have no problem against nobody that's LGBTQ. I've said this plenty of times, but a lot of people, like I said before, you can't say nothing unrighteous to a righteous person. You can't say something righteous to an unrighteous person. So no matter what, how you put it, they're gonna still take it the right way, the righteous way or the wrong way. my point is, my issue is when you're purposely trying to impose your will, your viewpoints on the children, and then you saying it ain't no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Then you backing off and whistling and acting like it's no problem. There's transgenders in schools. You know what I'm saying? They're performing in front of kids. Why would a transgender have a, like, why would they come to a school to perform? What does that have to do with anything? You get what I'm saying? So that's my little issue with it. But other than that, like, you can identify as a damn cat if you want to. You want to go out, be a cat, be a walrus, you want to do whatever you want to do. That's your prerogative. And can't nobody be mad at you about that. But when you become like almost like a dogmatist or evil villain about it, you become villainous in nature about it, that you have to believe this, you have to accept this, or you just, you're a homophobic. That's a term you can just throw out at your convenience when the argument, when you can't come back with a concrete argument or point, you know what I'm saying, against something that's not appropriate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Porn is not in school for a reason. We don't have
Right.
porn in school for a reason. So you don't have to objectify yourself in front of children and then say it's educational. You know what I'm saying? That's not educational. Ain't nothing about that. It's educational. So that's my issue with that. But like I said, I'm not here to, well, at least right now, I'm not here to give my viewpoint on what a woman is. But this what is a woman question raises a deeper it raises a deeper, more questions. It brings up more gender concepts, the ideologies of gender concepts and all that, sex and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to, have this show on today, because a lot of people out there, are just going with the same narrative and following along with the crowd. And I'm one of them black sheeps. I'm a little controversial, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of them black sheeps that's, just trying to bring something forth to the people that they can, grasp onto. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hold you up too long. I know some people gonna be on here. If you got any last words, I'm gonna let you end it off properly before you get off here, because you may have some more profound things to say to leave something on the mental for the people.
I mean, that's just my opinion on what a woman is. When you first said something about it last night, I ain't gonna lie, I was lit. I was lit. So I was like, yes, I want to talk about being a woman. I was thinking a whole different perspective.
Hey, whatever.
But
I told you, whatever. Like, this is how I see it, and I'm gonna let you go or say what you gotta say. I, as a man, I ain't never been in the statehood of being a woman. So for me, even to the greatest minds, especially to men of whatever position he's in, whether he's a scientist, a researcher, a mechanic, women are a great mystery to us. So for me, so to me, I can see what a woman is, and I can give you my viewpoint, but a man's word doesn't suffice to me. Like, yeah, I know who you are. I know what a cat is. I know what this is, but you know more about you than I could ever define. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's more appropriate. What'd you say?
That sums it up right there. Take exactly what you're saying. You see women, but you would never understand what it's like to be one. Now, if you can feel like that as a man, how can another man feel that way? At least you're being honest about it, saying that you can't relate to that. You can't. You a man. You never will be able to understand it. So what makes another man feel like they can understand what being a woman is, because it at some point it crosses over from a feeling to almost mockery. Like when I see extreme feminine energy on guys, I'm like, but we don't even act like that. Like it's it's like extra. Like
It's like a
I'm like,
Halloween
damn,
costume.
do I walk like that? Do I talk like that? I mean, I know my voice
It's
is
Halloween.
higher pitched, but it's like, and I might fling my hair over my shoulder, but I don't be like extra dramatic about it. It made me feel like, damn, is that what you view as being a woman? Like, because it's so much more than that. You know what I mean? Now, I don't knock, like I said, I don't knock nobody for what they do, but I mean, just don't be. I don't like the mockery side of it. Like, I don't know.
All right. Well, you heard it from a biological woman's mouth, what a woman is to her. And we appreciate your perspective, because we really need people to like hear what a profound mind has to say. For real. I consider you to have a profound mind. I wouldn't have hit you up if I didn't consider that. So we appreciate you.
All right.
All right. For sure. So that was Cece, y'all. She gave her perspective on what a woman is, okay? So I'm trying to tell y'all that this is how it is, man. Like, y'all already know what I'm gonna say. Y'all already know what I'm gonna say. Y'all should already know, but like I said, we gonna keep it culture right now. We're gonna add some more people in here so they can if they do want to come on. I'm not about to force somebody. If they want to get on here, then they can. Hold on. Oh, well, this guy, hold on. Let me see what he says, y'all. Hold on.
I'm good, bro. Maybe some other time. I'm trying to.
Oh, well, he actually, okay. He cool. All right. So let's just go back to the topic, though. All right. So now let me show you who the psychologist is, by the way, actually. This is Dr. Alfred Kinsey. Okay. That's the guy that was experimenting on kids. All right. So, and this is these are the statistics right here that he kept tabs of. Let me zoom in. He kept tabs of the orgasms that these children were having too with adolescent boys. So he was keeping tabs on and guess what? You know who else was at fault? The parents were at fault for allowing this shit to happen like that. This is an actual chart. You have the age, the number of orgasms, the time involved, the age and number of orgasms, and the time involved through pre-adolescent males. Okay? So now we also have. Oh, no, this is I'm sorry, y'all. This was Dr. Alfred Kinsey. The other guy, he's a strange psychologist too. His name is Dr. John Money, okay? The other guy I showed you, that's Dr. John Money, and this is Dr. Alfred Kinsey, okay? And Dr. John Money, he pretty much said his ideology was that babies are neutral, okay? They're born neutral from birth. And then he coined the terms gender roles and gender identity, okay? And then he ultimately gave one of the most heinous experiments ever with two twin boys, okay? So he convinced these parents, right, that had 2 twin boys, and 2 of those twin boys went to go get circumcision, right? So these 2 twin boys went to go get circumcision. One of the boys, the boys, his penis got burnt, so he didn't have no penis or whatever, or his penis was, messed up. You know what I'm saying? After that, he convinced the parents, right? Peep this. He convinced the parents that they should try to make the boy into a girl and keep the other twin as a boy. So one is going to be identifying as a girl, and then the other one is going to be identifying as a boy. So having said that, the son, he eventually went through the stage of growing out of identifying himself to be a woman. And he even later went on to the Dr. Phil show and talked about how he struggled with his gender identity, and he wanted to play with certain things. Like, he wanted to do boy activities, like play with action figures and play this and, typical boy activities, as a kid. He wanted to play with different things like that, but he was told that he was a girl, so it really traumatized him, okay? And it traumatized him so much that some people hit me up. It traumatized him so much that either he went, both of the brothers died, okay? One of them had an overdose, and the other one committed suicide, okay? And this is the result of medical professional history. This is called medical apartheid, okay? They used, and then I'm gonna get to something else too. They're still using children as sexual experiments, guinea pigs, experiment on your children. Okay? This is how serious this is. They're experimenting on your children, and you're just gonna let them do it because they have this white apron on and they look professional, and he or she may wear glasses or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So this is the stuff that we're talking about. You get what I'm saying? You don't put children through that because they don't have the mental capacity to think. It's just like telling a child at a certain age they believe in Santa Claus, right? It's separating fact from fiction. They don't have the mental capacity to say that Santa Claus is not real until they get older, until they become an adult. Then they reach that epiphany and the light bulb comes over above their head. At a certain age, then they don't believe in Santa Claus no more. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like, you can get them to go through the procedures because they gullible and naive, but then when they get older, then they realize, like, damn, what did I put myself through? What did my parents put me through? You know what I'm saying? Why would you as a parent want to put your son or daughter through that type of psychological trauma? Why would you want to do that? If that's the case, why be a parent then? Why do you want to even be a parent? I gotta question you as a parent. What's your motive as a parent? You get what I'm saying? So, and even now, I'm gonna say this now. Now, this may shock some people. This is a gender man. Okay, so this was a woman that used to be a man. Okay. Now, guess what? All right. Hold on. Let me see something here. Okay, yeah, because I want to play this video too, because that just made me think about that. All right, y'all gonna have to bear with me because I got so much material on this shit, man. It's a lot of material on this. Okay. All right. So there's a biological woman that became a trans person, trans man. And this woman went through a lot of procedures, took a lot of hormones, and took a lot of things to transition out of the state of being a woman. They wanted to be a man. But little did she know that it would cause a lot of, long-term effects. And she lives in great regret that she went through this process of doing it. And the worst thing about it is that this woman went through this process not as a child, but as an adult. So she feels that in today's generation of children, they don't stand a chance if they allow the system to dictate these type of heinous procedures amongst the kids. You get what I'm saying? So she said there is a medicine called Lupro. Lupro. So Lupro is responsible for stopping the the hormonals, the growth, like for girls, it's gonna stop them from getting breasts. You get what I'm saying? So they won't have breasts. They'll have like a regular chest like a boy, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much designed to reverse those effects, but it has a detrimental effect on you. It has a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff can go on with your cardiovascular system. It can cause you to become more suicidal. You know what I'm saying? And then also too, initially, medical professions had conducted these so-called studies saying that if children go through medical transitions during their childhood, it causes them to not have mental health issues. But in reality, it's the exact opposite, because they later came back and retracted their statement about that, saying that it does not. It does cause mental health issues. So pretty much they're dangling a carrot out there and they yanking it in front of everybody because they know what they're doing. They knew that from the jump. You can't tell me that they didn't know that from the jump. The implications of it being detrimental to the human body and the human mind. Okay. So let me play this real quick, because this is the same story that a woman, and she didn't even go through the procedure, but just listen to the story. Just listen to the story. This is another tragic story. Just listen to this. Let me refresh it. Hold on. Let me refresh. I'm gonna refresh it so it can play.
Woman, she already had some kind of masculine features, like deeper voice, deeper whatever. She decided to be a man because she wanted to see how men were treated. Not sex change, but an experiment. She ended up killing herself after like a year and a half of this because she said she was treated so horribly by women that she couldn't even believe that this is how men lived.
Have different problems that women have, but they don't have it better. They need our sympathy, they need our love, and they need each other more than anything else.
Do you think women understand what it's like to be a man?
Not at all.
And I was like, no fucking way. This woman, she already had some kind of masculine.
So if y'all didn't hear that clearly, this was a woman that just simply dressed up as being a man and she did it for 2 years, and she ended up committing suicide. So I don't know if y'all know this, but the transgender people have the highest suicide rate in American society. They have the highest suicide rate. Okay, so let me and then we're gonna go back into some more of these notes that we were talking about as well, because I wanna talk about some stuff. I wanna kind of transition a little bit out of American society, but then we're gonna jump back into American society too. Let me go to my notes real quick. Let me go to my notes real quick. Okay, this is the one I want. That's the one I want. All right, we're gonna play another video too. So I already played this one. We're gonna click out of that. I played this one. We're gonna click out of that. And now I'm gonna play one with Angela Stanton. She's a beast. I don't agree with her on everything, but she's a beast too. And y'all gotta hear her. I love this black woman. You know what I'm saying? She's a beast. And she stands her ground.
I've been attacked for supporting the president that I choose to support. I thought that was all about American freedom. Attacks are not gonna sway my belief. I mean, I just don't believe that a man can never become a woman, or that a woman can never become a man.
That's her son. Now watch this. Watch the psychological games that they play. Watch this. Watch this.
I don't see dogs out here doing it. It's not a part of nature.
Well, JB says her relationship with her mom has been destroyed forever because of Angela's conservative beliefs. And while JB knows that she was no saint growing up, she says her mom was demonic. Now, JB's youngest sister, Imani, says that she's bearing the brunt of Angela's explosive anger. Listen to what she has to say.
I've witnessed a lot of fighting throughout the years between my mother and my brother. And some his sexuality was always brought up. My mother is disappointed in how he is presented on the internet. So my mother saw JB's working in. He texted the entire family and basically told us not to support his behavior on the internet. My mother has called my brother derogatory terms in terms of his sexuality as a way to almost condemn his behavior. So my mom is a conservative and she is on the Trump train. We got in a disagreement about abortions. She smacked me because she thought that I was being disrespectful in our conversation about it. She does have an issue with small children being exposed to the gay lifestyle. My mom is worried that I'm influenced by my brother's way of thinking, and she's worried that it would rub off on me and that I will adopt the same mindset. My mom has been an emotional bully to us as a cat. She'll tell me that she's the only person that ever cared for me. My mom will argue with anybody in the family, regardless if they're a bad child or a good child. She will argue with anyone.
Imani, thank you for being here.
Hi, thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. You're kind of caught up in this whirlwind of all this conversation and debate.
Right.
And I'm sure you've been listening to some of this if you've been with the file of the stage. Help us hear it. What did you want to add to all this?
So I just want to bring it back to the central focus of that this is a parent-child relationship. So regardless of how my brother identifies, he is still a human being. And there's no reason, there's no circumstance that I can ever think of on this entire earth for someone to use the passing of someone's parent as a way to condemn their lifestyle. Regardless of if there was an argument, whatever names have been called, whatever has happened in the past, that is a line that you simply cannot cross.
I think you should sit over here. You're articulating this very well, and nobody interrupted you. I don't know. So that's great. You said that since your mom got on the Trump train that they've had problems.
Wait a minute, don't say anything. Hold on. First of all, let me clarify something. I think that it's disrespectful to imply that as a black woman, I can't decide who I want to support when it comes to politics. And I think that this whole issue about being Black and supporting Trump, you know, I have my reasons why I chose to, excuse me, because y'all keep pushing this issue. Javian mentioned it about me being a Trump supporter. She mentioned it about me being a Trump supporter. And here's the thing: if Javian is saying that he wants me to accept the fact that he's LGBTQA and he's a community, then that kind of goes both ways. You have to accept the fact that I supported a pro-life president. You have to accept the fact that I chose online. They got the video. I sent it in. When you were online talking about me, you said I'm a dumb Trump supporting bitch. That's what you said. To be condemned for supporting the candidate of your choice, I don't believe in killing babies. I don't believe in condemned for loving the person of your choice. Transitioning children. It's not about loving the person of your choice. It's about your behavior, and it's about the fact that you want to force me to believe that the son that I No, it's not about that. It's about how you use his sexuality to condemn him. That's not okay.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.
Hold on, y'all, real quick. Probably they talking about some we detected your video and your stream belonging to someone else. They always trying to bullshit on here. Hold on real quick. Yeah, I think I'm straight. Okay. All right. So having said that, be straight. We straight. Be straight. Okay. I'm hold on. Where Ice Cube at? Where Ice Cube at? What he gotta say? What Ice Cube gotta say? Would you say, Ice Cube? Say that again, Ice Cube. That's and then hold on. The Rock got something to say too. Hold on. What you say, The Rock? The all the sense. What you gotta say, Rock? So you heard Ice Cube and you heard what The Rock had to say. So having said that, y'all, I want to kind of transition this over to Africa and what they and their perspective on it, because he did go to Africa too. So he went amongst these African tribesmen or whatever. I think it was in Kenya, if I'm not mistaken. And he pretty much asked them, what is a man and what is a woman? But he asked them, what is a woman first? And the woman or the men he asked, he said a woman, the Africans straight up said that a woman is somebody that delivers. A woman is kind of like what Cece said, kind of like what spirituality focus said. They have a reproductive, blah, 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 blah. He asked the women, African women tribesmen or tribeswomen, the same question. They said a woman can deliver, and stuff like that. And then when he brought up the non-binary or the gender neutral and stuff like that, or if a woman wants to be a man or vice versa, these African people, our ancestors laughed at the concept because they don't. It's so laughable because they can't even fathom that concept. In Africa, they don't in a lot in parts of Africa, they can't even fathom that concept of genders switching over or you trying to be something else that you're not. You get what I'm saying? That's so much of a westernized ideology or concept that, again, they can't fathom the idea. That's why they laugh at this. They said they never even heard of this type of concept before. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost really laughable to them. And what else? What else did they say? They also said too that they would think that something is psychologically wrong with the person, whether it be a man trying to transition over to a woman or a woman transitioning over to a man. And then not only would they think that something's wrong with the person, they would tie it to the family. They would say something, they would go even deeper and say that something is wrong with the family per se, if you have somebody in your village or somebody in your tribe trying to switch over to something that they're not. But then again, like I said, the concept is not even thought of or even heard of until he came over there and told them about the westernized perspective. Or I ain't gonna put this because it is the perspective, but the westernized perspective. Okay, so they had no idea of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the timing that they're on. You know what I'm saying? So that I thought that was interesting too. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if there's something else that I thought was interesting. So he also went into a rally. He went to a women's rights rally, and he was trying to ask again the same question: what is a woman? The women there was saying that the women, they pretty much was saying that they was trying to they were being harassed. Some women thought that he was trying to harass them, and then another group of women, they thought that they couldn't even answer the question. These women, they're holding up these signs that says mind your own uterus, or if men can't get pregnant, then we wouldn't have this conversation. These are the same women holding those signs up that can't even define what a woman is. Okay, so why are you talking about these type of rights, but you can't even express who you are as a woman? You know what I'm saying? Well, let alone you want to talk about your rights. You know what I'm saying? Define who you are. He was asking. He didn't try to harass them. He didn't try to do anything to harm these people, but they try to make it seem like he was monstrous in his attempt when he went up to speak to them. All right. So let's see what else. All right. I mean, there was all sorts of constituents in certain states that were pro LGBTQ. He interviewed them, and some of them, one of them couldn't even they was getting so frustrated they walked out the interview. And the same applied with a professor. He was an LGBTQ professor, but he was pontificating and not answering the question. And soon enough, he just ended up walking out of the interview because he got so frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And the same applied with another pediatric or pediatrician. She, she was threatened that she would get up and leave if he wouldn't stop using certain words that was malignant. She would call it malignant or ill mannered or ill polite in his attempt, but he really wasn't. He wasn't being that way. She just was getting offended and couldn't handle the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I also want to transition it over to sports. Okay. So it was a high school girl, right? A high school girl was so frustrated that there was trans women coming into their area and running and doing the sprints, the 100, the 200 and stuff, and they was beating them by like 20 meters or so. So she felt like she was robbed of, a placing, what I'm saying, a placing in the top 3 when it comes to running, because it was actually trans people partaking in those sports. You get what I'm saying? So it was tough for her as a high schooler to go through that process. You get what I'm saying? Now, let's go back to the school. Now, when you think about, and then I'm gonna come back to the sports. When you think about the schools too, if a child, it was a clinical professional or a psychological or medical professional, clinical professional, medical professional, who also said in schools that, and even amongst her workplace, that people are almost afraid to talk about these things because they don't want to get let go or fired or anything like that. And then she also said too, in schools, if a child says he wants to be a cat, you have to respect that child so much that if he wants to come in as a cat every day and you try to convince him otherwise, you could be let go. As a teacher, you can be let go because you don't respect the child's boundary as being a cat or a dog or whatever the case may be. And what I like what Matt Walsh did, he pretty much did a little parody of a children's book of a little boy, acting like he actually wrote a book, and it was about a boy pretending to be a walrus. You know what I'm saying? And he read it to the children. He did all these different things to make a point that pretty much children have a fantasy, just like that Santa Claus analogy that I used earlier. They have a fantasy that they have an imagination. I shouldn't say fantasy because the fantasy is different than imagination. So they have an imagination that that there's something that they're not. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay for them to live in that moment and be a part of that moment. But then, just like adults, we all have to come to grips with reality. Okay? We don't live in a society where it's unicorns. There's rainbows, you know what I'm saying? And they even took the rain. You see now I remember a time, y'all, when rainbow was for children. You know what I'm saying? Children would see a rainbow, they would get excited, they'll, celebrate that shit and whatever. Now it's to the point that rainbow now is automatically associated with LGBTQ. Children can't even have their own. They can't have their own stuff without LGBTQ infiltrating it and saying that it's theirs. You get what I'm saying? There's even organizations called Nebula. You know what I'm saying? Nebula is an organization that pretty much believes in, they're carrying out the same psychology as Dr. Money and Dr. Kinsey that that children, there's nothing wrong with children, that you being infatuated with children. There's nothing wrong with molesting children. But this is an actual organization called Nabula. Look this up, okay? Also, South Park made fun of that group, okay? South Park, the TV show, you can look up clips of them making fun of the group, okay? All right? I just wanted to say that. But going back to sports, okay? There's a woman that did MMA, or trans woman that did MMA, and she pretty much fractured a biological woman's skull during the fight. Okay, what does that mean? What does it mean? That means that men, on universally speaking, now there are some other cases that there's exceptions that make the rules that go through, that override the rules sometimes. But what I'm trying to say is men are typically stronger than women. So for them to entertain the idea and allowing a trans woman to go into MMA only to fracture a man's or a woman's skull, it shows that society is becoming more and more of a circus. Okay, so we like the Roman said, like the great Roman Caesar said. I say great in parentheses because he wasn't that great, but he says, feed them bread and give them circuses. Okay, as long as society is entertained, that stuff, the trans people that are being in sports, that stuff don't matter. Another woman, Leah Thomas, is breaking barriers in the swimming, So this is another trans woman that is infiltrating the swim team. And I think this was in college, and one of the teammates had a problem with it. She kept her face anonymous so that she wouldn't be caught in the crossfires of, being off the team, her not being hired to a job, her getting blacklisted, blackballed, all that type of stuff. So she kept her voice and her identity anonymous because she was so nervous about what was going on with that. But they pretty much, a lot of the girls were afraid on that team to speak up, because if they did, then they would be, automatically shunned. They would get, scolded. They would be threatened to get off the team or be thrown out off the team or whatever. So these are the things that I say all this to say that this is what society has to go through. This is what children have to go through. And this is a part of the feminism agenda too. Feminism and LGBTQ is two sides of the same coin, okay? So a lot of modern women, I'm not talking about all, because we obviously know that there are some women out there that have, emotional intelligence, as well as the mental capacity to actually know what's going on. But a lot of modern women will fall through with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They will go through with this stuff. They will be a part of the go along, get along game, because as long as it's how can I put it? As long as you're able to, just get in where you fit in without no consequences, and it's not really hurting them per se, then they just go along with that, because women tend to be more so followers, because men, like as I said, we create societies, right? So we are the builders, the providers, the provisionists of society. So women are they're gonna more so follow along what's going on. But like I proposed the question: what happens when you get all the LGBTQ people to infiltrate it? Okay, that have ill intent to be like, you know what, I'm going to try to switch the roles of the man and the woman because I hate how men are, or I hate how women are, and stuff like that. And a lot of people, like I said, if they are a part of the LGBT community and they are, say, if they are, even if they're a homosexual, choosing to stay a man or stay a woman, or if they becoming, or they're deciding to transition out of their gender, they have been more than likely been molested by somebody in their family, unfortunately. And this is according to Dr. Umar Johnson, okay, who is, some people gonna argue about his credentials, but I'm not gonna debate that right now, okay? But let's go back to what I'm saying. He argues, according to the anecdotal evidence and the patients that he has talked to, that every time he talks to them about why people have become what they become, the common theme that he saw was child abuse or molestation. Okay, child molestation. So a lot of people, especially in our community, the Black community, we don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about the stuff that we went through as children, because it's like almost kind of like taboo to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's taboo, you know? So I want to say if there was something else that I wanted to lay out to you, and then there was something, was it something else that I already played that I did not play this. Now, guys, on this one, I'm not going to actually show it. I'm going to just allow y'all to hear it, because I don't want no copyright and shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to say nothing. So that's why I prefer to do this on Rumble, but it's okay. I'm going to get my Rumble together. So listen.
That is a biological scientific fact. Now, gender is a linguistic term. Words have gender. People don't. You can have whatever self-perception you want, but you can't expect me to take part in that self-perception or to take part in this kind of charade, this theatrical production. You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. It's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant. And whenever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant, because that's how I identify.
So you think it's a delusion?
Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. It's like, what is a woman? As human beings, we have a sex.
So there you have it. You heard it. Like I said, like some people, I'm going to say this on the documentary, excuse me, and then I'm going to give you my viewpoint too. I'm going to give you I think y'all already know where I'm standing on this too. I think y'all already know. But between Dr. Jordan Peterson and Dr. Miriam Grossman, I think they were the two most, they had the two most sane, concrete, logical, emotional intelligent answer. Okay? Who's that? Who that right there? Who that talking right there? Hold on. Let me see something. He's about identify as beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can only address you as beautiful only. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with calling somebody something, and you know, if you want to be complimentary to them, but for you to be like, that's borderline narcissist. If I tell you, like he just said, you only have to address me as being brilliant and remarkably handsome, you would think like, okay, now if I compliment you on that, that's a given. If I say you're brilliant and you're handsome, okay, it's a compliment. But if I forcefully say you only have to address me as brilliant AD, brilliant and remarkable AD, and you better not say nothing else, how would you view me? How would you view me if I told you you only have to say that to me? And if you don't say that to me, you hate me. You see what type of dark psychology I'm playing on you? I'm telling you, if you don't address me like that, wagging my finger at you like this, tell me that I'm handsome. Every time you see me, you gotta say I'm handsome. And you better say it. You better not say it. You better not mess up one time, mother sucker. You better not mess up one time. You better say handsome AD every time you see me. And salute me too. You see, like you give a person an inch, they gonna go a mile. So what else do I have to do to please you, King, or Sir or Your Majesty? Like, come on, man. Let's stop playing these games, man. Come on, you don't get, like he told her, you don't get to say and do what the hell you want to do with this. You out of your mind. You know what I'm saying? You out of your rabbit ass mind if you think that I can just tell you, or that I can just get, you can just get pronouns at your leisure. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty much giving away. I'm already hitting what I'm at, but I want to give y'all still my full perspective. But I want to say this. I think on this documentary and what I've learned from it, I think Miriam Grossman, Dr. Miriam Grossman, and Dr. Jordan Peterson, they had the most brilliant, insane answers when it came to just saying what a woman was. You know, whether they used a little bit of satirical humor with it and stuff like that, but they just went straight, and even the wife too. The wife as well. The wife, she gave a straightforward answer. You know, she ain't pontificate like I said earlier in this video. But I want to lay out what Miriam said, okay? She said the best way to speak about gender, or hold on. No, that's the wrong part I want to read. So when she talked about sex, she said sex is biology. Sex is unchanging. It is based on chromosomes, okay? 99.9% of cells are marked either male or female, okay? Gender is the perception, it is a feeling and a way of identity or identifying, excuse me. It's an experience, okay? And that's pretty much what she was saying, what it was, okay? She pretty much, like I said, she gave it the term, anybody that think outside of that, it's called gender dysphoria, okay? And I've already laid that out. I don't want to express that enough. But Jordan Peterson, he told him to straight up, just go ask your wife. Go ask your wife what a woman is, okay? And now this is AD's perspective, okay? So AD's perspective comes with this. All right. This is just my perspective. And I'm only telling you based off of my perception. I'm not saying that my answer is correct. I'm not saying that it's the end all be all answer, because like I told CC earlier, only women can define what a woman is, because men ain't never been in a state, a biological man ain't never been in the state of womanhood to define it. We can, do our best, but we'll never have a definitive answer. Okay. Our answer is based off of what we perceive it to be, and based off what you guys also tell us what it is. You know what I'm saying? With a woman, we just know it because we see the essence of it. You know, we see the essence of what a woman is. You know what I'm saying? I'm having trouble right now even telling you. You know what I'm saying? I'm having trouble. But this is my clear-cut definition. A woman is, she's spiritually in tune, she's vulnerable, she's receptive, she's the life giver, she's intuitive, she's compassionate, she's in alignment, she's emotion, she has emotions, she's not, and when I say emotions too, I don't want to say, oh, a woman is just emotional. A woman that has emotions, she's emotionally intelligent with those emotions. Okay? Not that she just has the emotion and she's just an emotional creature that doesn't know, that's unstable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. I'm saying emotionally intelligent woman. Okay? I mean, that comes with it too. Sometimes the instability comes with that. You know, I ain't trying to talk, be like that towards women, but y'all can be very chaotic. That's a part that's another definition I want to throw out there. Chaos comes with being a woman from my perspective. Chaos, mystery, sensuality, and then y'all being very expressive in your nature. Okay, so that's what I define, along with what CC has said, the reproductive, you having a vaginal area. If we want to look at it from an anatomical or physiological perspective, you having being more slender. We typically say, women are more slender, but when it comes to African women, they kind of they kind of how can I say that? They have something else going on, because the way they feel, that the way they shape, boy. Anyway, let me stop. Anyway, all right, they're more slender. They have breasts, of course, and like I said, that's what I see. I named off when I named off the energy, the biological features, and what I believe according to what I see and what I perceive to be a woman as. Now, it doesn't mean that my definition is all exact. I've already made that disclaimer, but that is my humble view of what a woman is. Like I said, like I'm gonna say like what Jordan Peterson said. You need to ask a woman. That's why it was important for me today to get women's perspective about what a woman was. And I appreciate the women that called in, that actually wanted to talk about this and get their perspective out, because it's important that we talk about these issues, because they are targeting our kids, and we want to be on the front lines. We want to be there for our kids. It's not about sexuality first, okay? It's about being a human being first. All that other stuff come later. You got to be a human being towards other human beings. The golden rule is a universal rule, okay? We're not here to be dictators. We're not here to be dogmatists. We're not here to be automatically in opposition to somebody else. Okay, it's almost it's already a lot of stuff going on in America, or in the Western hemisphere in general, and even in the world in general, but particularly in the Western hemisphere. There's a lot going on already. You know what I'm saying? We want to make this shit easier when it comes to our children. Why do you think men like myself, because I don't have kids yet, and I really want kids by a noteworthy woman, why do you think it's hard for us to want a family? Because we see what's going on with the world. We see what's going on around us, and we don't want our children to be a part of that. We don't want that. We want them to be able to grow in an environment that's nurturing and welcoming. Okay. And then, oh, you know what? Let me also show these too. I want to show these videos. I knew I almost forgot something. Okay. But we do want to have a nurturing environment for our children, okay? And then I'm gonna end this. I want y'all to see these before we get out of here. Okay, this is the world that we have come to. This is happening. This happened in Canada. So hold on. This is gonna be a 2-minute thing.
Where are you right now? I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada right now. Are you able to leave? I'm not able to leave BC. I can't even go to another province in Canada right now. It's because I'm technically out on bail. What happened exactly?
I don't know. Hold on, let me read this to you. So this says this happened in Canada, okay? If y'all can't hear it, then I'm gonna explain it. I'm gonna explain it. Don't worry about it. So this says a father in Canada was informed that a hospital will begin administering hormone altering medications to his child. Okay. And then it says, according to a recently passed Canadian law, doctors can administer these drugs to children without parental consent. I'm going to read that again. According to a recently passed Canadian law, doctors can administer these drugs to children without parental consent. And then it says, when the father spoke out, he was arrested and fined $30,000 for misgendering his 13-year-old daughter.
How exactly did this get into the courts to begin with? Right, so what happened is we set up a meeting with BC Children's Hospital, and according to the BC Children's Hospital website, there's going to be a thorough evaluation, and I'm thinking, good, this is going to be the end of it all. I can clearly see that my child is not the opposite sex. So my ex-wife brings my child into BC Children's Hospital. I get a call less than an hour into that appointment, is that they were going to pump her full of cross-sex hormones within the hour. And I put a halt to that. I said, no. They agreed to stop for the moment. They figured, well, let's get the dad on board too. This is all going to be better. Let's just get everybody on the same page. I said, it's not going to happen. So I get a letter from BC Children's Hospital in December of 2018. And it says that under the BC Act, they will start injecting my child with cross-sex hormones. And I have 2 weeks to respond with legal action if I so choose. And so that's how I ended up in court, because I didn't respond with legal action. So you called your daughter a she, and you went to jail for that? It's considered criminal violence to not use the preferred pronouns. It's no different than, let's say, I were to take a broomstick and whack one of my kids over the head. So they were treating it in a similar fashion. That this gendering, this pronouning my child was the equivalent of family violence.
So if you couldn't hear that, he was saying that they fined him $30,000. And he had to go to court and stuff like that for misgenderizing his 13-year-old daughter. And it was equivalent to him. It was equivalent to a violent act. No different from somebody whacking somebody on the head with a broomstick. And then they say, that's you're being violent and malicious in that way. They took him to court for that reason, okay? And his child was still ejected with the cross-sex altering hormonal stuff too.
Is she alive?
He's so that's what happened with that. And then I want to play this too, and then I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Hold on.
Today is the day before my top surgery. I'm waking tomorrow at 5 a.m. to have a subcutaneous mastectomy. We're telling children when they haven't fully developed that all you have to do is medically transition and you fit in. I was one of those kids. It got me at 42. Your child doesn't have a chance. Sarah, this is only going in one direction. You will respect us. As parents come to understand more about gender identity, kids are coming out at younger ages. It's exciting. And you know who gets it right?
I'm sorry, but one of them girls look like Sexy Red. You listen. If I see, that's crazy. This woman looked like she could be this woman looked like she could be Sexy Red or something. So this is the thing. When I was explaining to y'all that on my other excerpt video essay on my Instagram, if you haven't seen that video, the YAG agenda, go check that out. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts. So go check that out on Instagram if you have not checked that out already. Also, make sure, I haven't told y'all this yet, but make sure y'all like, sub, and share and subscribe to this channel. It's important that y'all do that because I need as much sincere support as possible. Also, too, there, like what I was trying to say was, this is no different. Like this trans woman thinks she can be more of a woman than you, and she's trying to replace you. You get what I'm saying? She trying to listen. Y'all know who Sexy Red is. If y'all don't listen to hip hop, y'all listen. I'm telling you, Sexy Red. Let's go. Let me go back to that. Go back to that. Go. I'm gonna pause it when it gets in. I'm gonna try to catch it. Look at that. Right here she go. Right there. He looked just like a normal black woman. He looked just like a normal black woman. Now imagine him coming up to you talking about I was born a woman, and you get with him and then y'all about to get into what y'all about to get into. You know what I'm talking about. And then when he pulls it down, you see what he got. You get what I'm saying? So this is what we up against. This is what we're up against. You got these men that think that they can be better than women. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the men or the women that think they can be men better, and then they got, let me say it again. We got men that think that they can be better women than women, and women think that they can be better men than women. I mean than men. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? So listen. See, all this shit is confusing. It's confusing me right now. I can't even say it right. Shit.
It's exciting. And you know what gets it right? It's this next generation. The next generation who's already telling us that our antiquated ideas of things have to be a certain way just don't apply to them. They're rejecting a lot of our social mores. They're tweaking the system. I just don't think it's realistic to put this decision on them that is basically saying, are you...
Hold on, I think somebody want to get on too. I'm gonna let them talk for a few minutes. I want to get their perspective. Hold on. They hold on, y'all. If they want to, if they, because some people kind of late to the party. Some people are late to the party. You want to get on what's the name, De'Arion? Because I saw your comment at the bottom. You trying to get on, bro? You trying to get on? Where you at? See if he say something. We can share our last little moment, our last thoughts before we get off of here. Let me see. Feel like I'm about. You know how I feel like sometimes you about to. It feel like you about to sneeze, but then you don't. If you don't, if they don't come on, I'm gonna give them like 5 more minutes, y'all. But my point is, guys, I want to say this: we're heading into a society where, like I said, my sinuses is kind of acting. I don't know why my sinuses is acting like this now, but we're heading into a society where everything is backwards. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So everything is sensitive and everything is censored. We're just a walking contradiction when it comes to our society. You know what I'm saying? We're a walking contradiction. If we're in today's era and a woman can't define what a woman is, we're in trouble. Okay, we are in serious trouble if a woman cannot define what a woman is. We are in serious trouble. Okay, so that's my thing. We in trouble. Okay. D said he didn't want to get on. Okay, it's all good. Okay, we appreciate you, bro, for your commentary. Let me read some of these comments too. I overlook some of y'all comments. I don't want y'all to think I ain't paying attention to y'all. So some people said the LGBTQ community is a goddamn cult. They want to control and police everybody. A bunch of goddamn crybabies. Okay. Jay Thurman said no need for a gender reveal party anymore, huh? That's sad. I want one. I would get bashed for that. That must have been a comment I said really earlier. Hold on. She talking about that dude earlier. She said he has a full beard. Just an observation. He's like Prince. Well, I can see what you saying. Hold on. What D say? He said maybe next time when I'm more free. Okay, no problem, bro. We appreciate you. I'ma think of some more, controversial topics, and we gonna get on here and talk about them. But like I said, I appreciate everybody. I think I'm gonna just get on out of here. I don't want to overfill the cup. The cup is already full. But yeah, man, we gotta get it together. We really do, as a society, or we're gonna become the heteros. I'm gonna say this, like I said in my previous video on YouTube. I mean, not on YouTube, but on Instagram, which y'all should check out. We're heading into extinction. Okay, especially the heterosexual community. If we don't speak out about what's going on, then laws are going to change drastically right before our eyes because we're accepting the propaganda that's going on. Okay, again, nobody cares about. Our argument is not what you do in your bedroom, it's how you're acting towards the children and how you're trying to force it on everybody else. We don't have to accept that. Do what you do, keep it pushing. Just like the same with the heterosexual community. We're pushing our way, we doing what we want to do, but we're not, we're not just going all out. We're not trying to impose everything on everybody else. We're just living out our lives. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to infiltrate and cause a lot more confusion. A lot of us righteous people are not trying to do that. So having said that, I really love y'all. Appreciate y'all for actually being on this live. And we gonna get into more controversial topics. This ain't gonna be the end of it. We still got more to talk about in the future. So having said that, I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. And I hope everybody learns something from this. And yeah, we gonna chop up more game. I'm out like a light. Peace for now.